and we are back for our nonsense of the week, which we are doing something a little different this week. I have not told Dari what the nonsense is. I have just assured him that I have some, and I imagine he will not be disappointed, although I feel like if you have seen the deck list that I'm about to show you, you know exactly what this is, because there is no other plausible candidate for what this could be.
Okay, fire away.
Okay, I will send the link for this to you right now and let you digest this and react in real time, because this is this one belongs in the Louvre. This is a true masterpiece. I don't know if we can ever top this for this segment. This is the nonsense of the week, the nonsense of the year, the nonsense of the rest of humanity. Feast your eyes on this, which I have just sent to you in the Slack there.
Wait, does this beat Titantron?
Oh, Titantron is a normal, unremarkable deck compared to this.
Okay, so this is okay. I see what we're doing. This is the Sorin Imperious Bloodlord Sorophon deck. So Sorophon is the 7-mana changeling mythic from original Modern Horizons that makes your spells of whatever creature type you choose for it cost Wooburg less, and you use that to cast the first Sliver and Cascade. And from there, I feel like there's something I should figure out from here in terms of actually winning the game.
So, we have our Sorin. So that's the 2 and a black Sorin that can. One of its minus abilities is just to put a vampire from your hand onto the battlefield, which normally you see people doing that with like Champion of Dusk in Pioneer or whatever. We're aiming much higher here. So we're putting in our vampire and everything else in Sorophon. So that's our sneak and show. That's how we're cheating out our 7-mana card on the cheap. And once we have that, so we cast the first sliver. This is Wooburg for a 7/7 sliver. It has Cascade, and then also sliver spells that you cast have Cascade. And so we pair this with some other 5-mana rainbow slivers, Sliver Legion, which pumps all of your slivers, I want to say quadratically, but don't quote me on that. And then Sliver Hivelord, which gives them more indestructible. We've got Cloud Shredder Sliver for the big combat step after all of this. But the way this works is, so we have, in terms of our setup, because we've got this 2.5 card combo to put up here, we have Summoner's Pact and Eladamri School to find our first sliver. We also have Search for Glory. So this is the 3-mana snow sorcery shooter from Kaldheim that gets a snow permanent, a legendary card, or a saga. So in this deck, it gets any of those combo pieces or your snow basics, if you're in dire need of those. And we also have Oath of Nissa, which, again, can find a land, can find any of the combo pieces. So when we're going off, let's say we have a first sliver and we cast Sliver Legion. So we're cascading through our deck. We can hit Summoner's Pact, which finds another green sliver to keep the chain going. We can find Eladamri School, which finds a sliver to keep the chain going. Same thing with Search for Glory. We also have 4 copies of Remand in the deck, which normally you would think, okay, that's a fine defensive card, but buys you time, gets the combo together, maybe a little bit out of place there. But when you're cascading, when you're surfing that wave, if you cascade into a Remand, you just remind your spell, which has Cascade, thanks to the first sliver, and you keep going. And if you hit a sliver at any point, that cascades into something else, which can find you another sliver. So the only misses in the deck, really, at that point, are your additional copies of Sorin. And so you quickly get to a point where any of the 2-drop slivers that you cast are guaranteed to cascade into Summoner's Pact, which finds you another sliver, let's say a first sliver, a Sliver Legion, which you can cast for free thanks to Sorophon. And so you basically just cascade, 10 times in a turn. Everything gets you this additional backdoor cascade, and then you have this big photo finish with Cloud Shredder Sliver when all is said and done.
Okay, then. I do like how you can cast. I guess there aren't a lot of 3-drop slivers, but you could cascade into Harmonic Sliver, then cascade into Remand off the Harmonic Sliver, and then bounce the top level Wooburg Sliver. That's a lot.
Yes. It sure is.
When you cast a first sliver while you control a first sliver, you get double cascade, right?
Oh, yeah. You sure do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess you can also unearth your slivers with J-Shape Sliver, which doesn't cast them, but you can work that angle as well. Some cute features at a micro level, for this deck. Going over to the mana base, we have in order here Cavern of Souls into Gemstone Caverns into Gemstone Mine. So not often either you see all of those working in tandem. And then we have exactly one reflecting pool. So just, make up the numbers for our blue sources and our white sources and all the other sources at the same time. But also, we have some fetch lands, of course. And so you would think, well, we got to balance 5 colors in our mana base. Maybe we need like a triome of some kind. So Indatha triome, the Abzan triome, maybe that's a good fit here. This deck has a Murmuring Bosk because we have Morophon as a tree folk in addition to everything else. And so sometimes we just get to untap that one and have it be the best dual land / pain land of all time.
Yeah, it took me a second on that one. And when I got the joke, it's definitely a groaner.
So this deck is quite something, and as Brian Gottlieb pointed out with his hypothetical, 20 pitch evoke creatures plus 20 rainbow creature deck on Twitter, this deck has a lot of creatures of all 5 colors if we want to work any of those into the mix here as well.
I do like Search for Glory. That does make me happy to see. That's all I really have to say about. This is quite the spread, honestly. I saw this deck. I couldn't figure out if there was a deterministic win. And now that we're talking about it again, maybe they just didn't want to win the game. They just wanted to see what happens.
That's what adds to the fun. You could not be able to close and then lose the game to your several copies of Summoner's Pact that you surely cast across this turn.
Yeah, you can't really pay for a lot of those with only 23 lands. I love the Oath of Nisa in your deck that has like perfect 5-color mana.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can fix you for your Sorin, if you have every other color, but you're missing the black source somehow.
Yeah, you probably cast it off Mana Confluence anyways. Like, it's a tough ask.
Yeah, there literally is a lot to unpack in this deck, but I don't know when I'll find time to give this a try, but I really want to, because how could you turn this one down?
You probably will after the first time you cascade into Sorin, but that only happens some of the time.
There's a very narrow window to do this before my first liver can run into Subtlety or something after I've Summoner's Pacted for it, but for now, I can have some fun.
Well, Cascade doesn't matter for Subtlety. Bloodbraid Elf is pretty good against that card.
I guess, and sometimes you just cast your first liver and give them the beatdowns.
Yeah, that is true. It is a 7/7.
I don't quite know why 2 copies of Shimmer of Possibility are in this deck. Is that I don't know if this deck wants an impulse or if that's somehow the best one that we can find across all 5 colors in the modern card pool here.
Yeah, no, it literally is. I've had this discussion recently in the context of Curate, and the best impulse is the Sorcerer Speed Impulse. Maybe the next set will fix that. Who knows? Maybe we can get Impulse again.
Look, once upon a time did no harm to anyone, so, let that one out of its cage and see what happens.
Absolutely. I mean, I will say that of the cards that were banned from that set across any format, I think Once Upon a Time in Modern may have been the least defensive.
Well, that's a spirited discussion to have for another day, maybe. But on that note, in the meantime, any last notes and where can people be finding you?
You will certainly not be finding me at ARMLX on Magic Online playing this deck, though you will find me probably playing a number of other things on Magic Online doing that. I'm also ARMLX on Twitter. My content shows up typically Mondays on StarCityGames.com. You are listening to this podcast, which you can find on Spotify, YouTube, StarCityGames.com, Stitcher, probably somewhere in your microwave, wherever you find a podcast.
Yes, you can find me under an alias casting the first sliver and then the second sliver and third sliver and so on and so forth. You can find me on Twitter instead, if that's your jam, at Dom and Javier. And we will be back, I guess, as of this recording, on Thursday with spoilers that may or may not crack open the modern format. And if not, we will be back next week with more Modern Horizons 2 and certainly more Nonsense of the Week. Take care.